Hi everyone, this is your news at 11. I'm Channing Frampton. We're starting with some breaking news from the streets of Warren County tonight. The Warren County Sheriff's Office confirms one child and at least one adult have been taken to the hospital after being ejected from a vehicle. The accident was reported around 8 this evening here on Remount Road, also known as Route 522. This is just south of Front Royal near the Smithsonian Conservation Research Center. 2 air care helicopters responded to this accident. We're working to confirm more information about who was involved. Fortunately, though, this section of 522 is back open tonight. Also breaking now, these are new images just coming into our newsroom from Glasgow, Scotland. Officials say there are numerous casualties in the helicopter crash here. You can see from the pictures a police helicopter has crashed into a pub here. We're told at the time of the crash, the pub was filled with people inside. Witnesses reported seeing people who appeared injured running from the pub after that crash. And new at 11, Thanksgiving shopping at a Virginia Walmart turns violent when a fight escalates in the parking lot. Deputies arrested 35-year-old Christopher Jackson and 61-year-old Ronnie Sharp last night. Investigators say Sharp threatened Jackson with a rifle and a knife. When deputies arrived, they say they found Jackson with a severe knife wound to his arm. Medics treated and released him. Deputies booked both men into jail. And authorities charged Sharp with malicious wounding and Jackson with disorderly conduct, assault, and battery. And it's no surprise that some stores turned violent given the frenzy over the deals offered to start this year's holiday shopping season. As Andrew Spencer reports, some shoppers stayed calm and others got downright pushy.
Slow it down! Only 2 people can have it!
Black Friday got rowdy at this Brands Mart in West Palm Beach, Florida, over a few deals offered to a limited number of customers. The crowd surges when a couple of people appear to cut in line, pushing their way to the front of the crowd as others grab this man's jacket and try to point him out to store employees. You can see some of the same people waiting at the front of the line outside earlier in the day. Excited shoppers surged into the Macy's at New York's Herald Square, but with a long night and day of shopping ahead, most filed in without much pushing or shoving. Huge crowds gathered outside the Mall of Georgia before the Macy's there opened at 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Some shoppers gave up their family time to capitalize on early Black Friday deals at this Walmart in San Antonio.
Well, it was worth coming out this time of night for to make Christmas for my little one, so it's well worth it. Found one out of the last 2, so I'm happy.
We got a bunch of toys for the kids, stroller and a car seat for a baby that we're expecting here, and just gifts for the family.
Others were only giving up being home for the holidays, bringing their whole families out of the store.
My husband is in line for the 50-inch TV. My son is also in line for the PlayStation 4, so we're here as a family and having fun.
Erica Herrera is in line, hoping to shell out just under $600 for 2 of those 50-inch TVs, one of many doorbuster deals that kick off the official start of the holiday shopping season. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
And we just got off the phone with local emergency dispatchers across the Northern Valley. All are reporting that they didn't get any calls of violence or of major disruptions here locally due to shoppers. That's always good to hear. Now let's get a first look at the weather for the weekend ahead. If you got some plans to head out there, well, it's going to be a chilly weekend. Right now, temperature is sitting in the upper 20s, 27 degrees in the city of Winchester. Berryville a little cooler, coming in at 26 degrees right now. So a chilly night is on the way and underway. SkyTracker Doppler radar is coming up dry right now, so no rain or snow to worry about. And for the rest of tonight, overnight lows will be in the low 20s with just partly cloudy skies. Details on what your Saturday looks like coming up in just a bit. Turning to Winchester today, Black Friday shoppers were expected to spend more than $600 billion on purchases. Much of that spent at major stores like Walmart and Kmart, but a portion of that will also be spent at local businesses. TV3 Winchester's Dan Grossman looks into how local shops are trying to make sure they still get a slice of that consumer pie, and they're calling it Plaid Friday.
On a day when parking lots looked more like metallic reflecting pools, the downtown walking mall had its own theme as plaid became more than just a fashion statement. It became a consumer statement.
Plaid represents the the individual strands of a community coming together to create the uniformity of business.
Businesses along the walking mall line their storefronts with sails and drape their shoulders with green plaid, brown plaid, and multicolored plaid to help encourage the movement to spend money locally.
All of the hard-earned dollars of the community go to these big businesses, and then that goes somewhere else, and it's very important to keep everything in the community and just keep it going in a circle.
And that money doesn't just support local store owners, it also supports local infrastructure.
More of your dollar stays put in your community, so our taxes are more directly significant when you talk about schools and roads and services.
But many of the people who are out in their plaid said they didn't even need Plaid Friday to help them spend locally.
Friendliness of the people coming into the small business and local stores is pretty fantastic. We've gone into a few of them, and they've had hot apple cider and cookies, and their stories to tell of what they did over the holidays.
My game is to offer a service that you can only get here, and so in a small community, I know people in my store, I know what they're looking for, and I know how to find the gifts that they want to give to their family.
And that personability helps, so when money goes out, it keeps coming back. In Winchester, Dan Grossman, in your community.
And many of those stores banded together to put Plaid Friday together. Today wasn't the only emphasis on shopping locally, though. Tomorrow kicks off Small Business Saturday, so lots of stores in our area will be having sales for that as well. In Shenandoah County, we're learning a teenager accused of plotting a school attack in Shenandoah County will be tried as an adult. Aaron Trump of Edinburgh is accused of plotting an attack against Stonewall Jackson High School in Quicksburg. He was 17 years old when he was arrested back in September. He's charged with making threats or false threats to damage or bomb buildings, manufacturing or possessing explosives, and committing, conspiring, aiding, and abetting acts of terrorism. Trump recently was moved from a juvenile detention center in Shenandoah County to the Shenandoah County Jail after he turned 18. In state news, volunteers are headed out this weekend to search for a Nelson County teen who was last seen in August. The search for Alexis Murphy will start Sunday in Livingston, where she was last seen at a gas station. She told her family she was headed to Lexington for a shopping trip. When she didn't come home, police launched a search that found her car in an Albemarle County parking lot several days later. Volunteers who wanted to join the search are asked to meet at EC Glass High School at 10:30 Sunday morning. In Virginia, Governor Bob McDonnell is preparing to leave office after a 4-year term that saw his rising national profile fade under the cloud of a federal investigation. McDonnell is leaving in January because of a term limit. He says he has no plans to seek another office and that he says he's proud of his record, including that on education, transportation, and budget issues. However, now prosecutors are investigating whether he and his wife gave special treatment to a dietary supplement maker whose chief executive gave the couple luxury gifts. Turning to West Virginia, a Pendleton County man has lost his hunting privileges for 10 years after pleading guilty to charges related to the death of a bald eagle. 41-year-old Chris Armentrout of Franklin is also fined $1,500. Armentrout pleaded guilty earlier this month in magistrate court to illegal possession of a bald eagle. The investigation began after authorities got reports that an individual had bragged about killing a bald eagle and disposing of it. The local young professionals group kicks off their annual campaign, 12 Days of Giving, today. The top of Virginia Regional Chamber's Next Generation Professionals Committee is collecting non-perishable food items and coats for kids in our community. These bins are located at businesses and organizations throughout the city of Winchester, Frederick, and Clark counties. All the food and coats collected will go to students in our area who rely on the free and reduced meals program at school. So with the upcoming winter break, they'll likely struggle with hunger.
That's a long time for a child to have to go without a very nourished meal and just kind of basically scraping by. So I understand there's lots of programs out there, and it's great with getting kids and children the toys, but imagine them trying to open up a Christmas present when they're absolutely starving and haven't eaten for 2 days.
That's a very good point. And this is a photo of the food collected during last year's drive. Literally a ton, 2,000 pounds of food was collected, which helped to feed several families in Frederick County for 2 weeks. NGP also collected about 50 coats. And you can drop off your donation here at TV3 Winchester on Millwood Avenue or at the Chamber office on South Loudon Street. The campaign goes through December 10th. And for information on how to donate, just click on this story at TV3Winchester.com. And coming up on the news at 11, how good are you at handling stress? Well, we've got some tips to get you through the holidays and beyond in a special health report. And here's a look at that almanac for today before we go to break. Reached a high of 37 degrees, well below our average high of 50 degrees. We're back in just a couple minutes. Tracking crime in your community, the Frederick County Sheriff's Office wants to know if you've seen a man who's at large in your community. They're looking for Robert Bertram Hawkins III. He's wanted for probation violation. The 39-year-old white man is 6'3" and weighs 210 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information about his whereabouts, make an anonymous call to the Crime Solvers hotline at 540-665-TIPS. If your tip leads to an arrest, you could be eligible for a reward. And it's the other wanted persons who have been featured in this segment. Visit TV3Winchester.com and click on the At Large in Your Community button. And Winchester police are trying to figure out who broke into several vehicles in the city. Investigators say the string of thefts happened on 7 different streets. Here's Sheriff Lenny Milholland with this week's TV3 Winchester Neighborhood Crime Tracker.
The Winchester Police Department is investigating numerous thefts from motor vehicles. Sometime between Tuesday, November the 19th and Saturday, November the 23rd, numerous vehicles have been broken into and items stolen. The areas where these offenses occurred are the 1700 block of Hanley Avenue, the 200 block of Shawnee Avenue, the 1600 block of Vancouver Street, the 100 block of Morningside Drive, the 2200 block of Roosevelt Boulevard, the 100 block of South Kent Street, and also vehicles at Apple Blossom Mall. All these are in the city of Winchester. The items that were targeted and stolen were iPhones, GPS devices, Xbox systems, laptops, purses, and cash. So if you have any information on this case or any other cases been highlighted by TV3 Winchester, please call the Crime Solvers hotline at 540-665-TIPS. That's 540-665-8477. If your information leads to an indictment in this case, you could be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. And remember, you can remain anonymous.
Thank you, Sheriff. Now let's get a look at that weather forecast for the weekend ahead. On the Weather Watch for the weekend, we're talking about below average temperatures continuing like we've seen over the past couple of days. Clear skies, though, will move in, and we're going to stay in a dry pattern. So things not too exciting weather-wise, unfortunately, for people like weather geeks like me. 27 degrees for your current temperature, rather, at the Winchester Regional Airport. Winds are calm, so the wind chill not a big problem. It's just biting cold out there with plenty of dry air. That dew point sitting in the upper teens, not a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and patchy clouds beginning to move in at this time. Sky Tracker Doppler radar is coming up dry. No rain or snow, sleet, or anything wintry to worry about other than the temperature. I'm sure you're feeling it out there. Zoom out on a wider picture to try to find something to talk about on the weather map. There's really not that much going on. A few lake effect clouds and snow showers coming off of the Great Lakes, rather. But here we are nice and dry. There's a little bit of a short wave system indicated by this checked line working across the Appalachians. That's really not going to bring us anything. The next time we see any chance of rain is about a week from now. So future weather shows us a quiet weather picture as we take it through hour by hour. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Maybe you're heading out for Small Business Saturday. Well, it's going to be a great day to go out for it. Thanks to a little bit of moisture coming through with that short wave that you saw on the map, though, the clouds are going to increase as we head throughout tomorrow afternoon. It should be a relatively quiet day, though, with temperatures in the low 40s. We clear out, though, Saturday evening. Those clouds move on out, and then by Sunday, we're looking high and dry once again with increasing sunshine and temperatures a little bit warmer than what we've seen over the past couple of days. Overnight tonight, your overnight lows are looking pretty chilly. 23 degrees in the city of Winchester. Out to the east, take a look at Berryville, an overnight low of 22 degrees. Clearbrook, we'll be sitting at 21 overnight tonight with increasing clouds as we head into Saturday. Take you through hour by hour through your day, starting off at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Temperature right around 25 degrees with a mix of clouds and stars. We climb up into the mid-20s by 7 o'clock, and then we're still below that freezing mark at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, we will be right around 40 degrees for your high temperature across the northern valley. Things are going to be quiet. Those clouds will increase, so that's going to help keep the temperature down a little bit. And tomorrow night, once the sun ultimately does go down, we're going to be in the mid-30s, 34 degrees by 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. If you're planning on traveling this weekend, Sunday is a big travel day this weekend. If you're heading back to any of these cities, man, I wish I could go to Orlando. If you're heading back to Orlando, temperature will be right around 79 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. If you're heading to Chicago, 39 degrees. New York, 47 with a slight chance of rain. If you're traveling back to Washington, 48 degrees and 47 degrees in Baltimore as you head back home, saying goodbye to those relatives. Your 3-day planner looking like this: 49 degrees for your high temperature on Sunday, 45 degrees on Monday. As the system works along the coast, we could see some cloud cover get thrown back off the Atlantic. Really no rain expected at this time. The 7-day forecast for the weekend is always in view. We're tracking a storm system that won't affect our area until next Thursday or Friday, about a week from now. 49 degrees for your high temperature next Thursday, and we'll be staying in the 40s really throughout the entire forecast period. So it's going to be kind of a quiet and calm weather period as we look ahead. So while it's quiet and calm, you know, you can always head on over to social media. I've got a Facebook page, Channing Frampton TV3, and you can also follow me on Twitter. That's at Channing TV3. I'll be posting a forecast tomorrow morning on what you can expect for the rest of the weekend. So head on over there and like those pages. And as we head to break, here's a look at what the top stories you're clicking on tonight at TV3Winchester.com, including that serious accident down in Warren County. With some health news, Black Friday is known by many as a very stressful, intense day, no doubt. But stress can rear its sometimes ugly head anytime and anywhere, and left unmanaged can have negative effects on our health. In today's Health Minute, Susan Hendricks has more on the program designed to help people in control.
Want me to spray some?
Paula Skripik has been caring for her mother for 5 years, in addition to working a full-time job. She is exhausted. To help manage her stress, Paula uses an online tool developed by her coworkers at the Cleveland Clinic.
It's guided imagery, it's progressive muscle relaxation, it's different breathing techniques, different meditation techniques.
For a small one-time fee, participants sign up online and fill out a questionnaire to pinpoint the causes of their stress. Then they go through a 6-week course to learn and practice different ways to manage it. Dr. Michael Roizen says stress level reduction is of critical importance.
70% of the cost of medical care in America is caused by chronic disease, tobacco, physical inactivity, food choices and portion size, and unmanaged stress. Turns out unmanaged stress may be the highest one because it causes the food choices and it may cause the tobacco, etc.
He says that one of the keys to success is continuing with the relaxation techniques after the 6-week period like Paula does. The program has helped her learn to take life one step at a time, she says.
Just live in the moment.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
Very good tips, especially this time of the year. And TV3 Winchester's Brian Kaufman joins us now. What do you do to handle stress?
I go out to Friday Night Light football games.
Oh!
Playoff style.
I bet that gets the heart racing.
It's as relaxing as it gets.
I bet it was an exciting night for you tonight, too.
It absolutely was. We have highlights coming up now that I have feeling back in my toes from coming out there. Sharando football on the gridiron tonight with a trip to the state Final Four on the line. The Warriors welcomed 4th seed Cortland to Arrowhead. So are they semifinal bound? We'll have highlights next in sports.
All right, here's a last look at that 7-day forecast for the weekend is always in view. This weekend looking like a good Saturday to go out and enjoy Small Business Saturday with a high of 40 degrees. Sunday looks like a high of 49 degrees, and we don't climb back up above 50 until a week from today. Gosh.
And finally tonight, now that Thanksgiving is come and gone, all eyes turning towards December and Christmas.
Yeah, they definitely are. Only 26 days away, and folks in the Apple Blossom Mall getting ready for their Santa fill. Black Friday shoppers of all ages and sizes were plopping themselves on Santa's lap to tell him their wish. This year's Apple Blossom Mall has a different Santa setup than years past, but they all have a common goal: to add some Christmas cheer.
It's a riot, holding all the kids, bringing a little cheer to some of these that don't have anything, and it's just a moment in time when they can get a change of pace and have something good.
Santa Claus will visit the mall every day of the week until 8 p.m. leading up to Christmas. It's amazing to think that he can be at the Apple Blossom Mall. He must visit all the other malls around the world in his spare time.
Busy man. That Santa Claus is pretty impressive.
All right, we have a good night and enjoy your weekend.